Okay. Hey. Shalom, Israel. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect men doing this work in truth, sincerity. Hey, with the brother, well, I'm Kahan. You know, the brother over there is Napash. We're just doing, quick, video on John 3:16. We was going to camp, was it Saturday? And you had some bozo, said, and it goes to show you how this guy was set up, man, because, we talking about the Lord died for the whole world, not only Israel. And he said this thing like three, 4 times, man. He only brought out one scripture, John 3:16, as they all do, man. So he's gonna debunk that, that doctrine for them grape juice drinkers.
Con. Yeah, so start off with John 3:16.
All right, 13, right? Start at 13.
No, do 16. We'll go from there.
All right, Con. John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believed in him should not perish, but have everlasting life.
Right, and exactly, and so that's what these false prophets, these grape juice drinkers, they take the scripture and they just run with it, and it's a real irresponsible thing to do because you err in not knowing the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of things that we can go into, bringing out the source and the reasoning why Yahweh Shai said this at the time, and we're going to get into it. So first, let's go step by step. Ak, if you could just read John 3:1 real quick.
John 3:1. It says, there was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews.
Right, so here it is. Yahweh Shai was talking with Nicodemus, the ruler of the Jews. If you could hold what you have right there and grab Hebrews 7:14, Baba Kushai. You know what I mean? Because we're just going to give you a little background on John 3:16, and because we can go into things. The easy part is going into the world, which in the Greek is cosmos, which means a particular cluster of stars, which means they're talking about a particular group of people. But that's the easy part. We've heard this breakdown a million times. We're going to go over it another route. So Hebrews 7:14, Baba Kushai.
It's Hebrews 7:14. What is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah, of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning the priesthood.
Right. So this is talking about Yahweh Shai. It's evident that he came out of Judah, that he sprang out of Judah. So here it is. You have Nicodemus, the ruler of the Jews, talking with Yahweh Shai, a Judite. So this is an Israelite on Israelite conversation. You know what I'm saying? If you ever heard the term an A-B conversation, so see your way out of it. Well, the rest of you other nations and the rest of you other heathens need to see your way out of this conversation, because this is just a conversation between the Israelites, number one. Okay? This whole thing where we're in John 3:16, this is Yahweh Shai, an Israelite, talking with Nicodemus, another Israelite, saying how the Most High, Salakia, for the Most High so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. So you know what I mean? So besides going into the word cosmos, you know what I'm saying? It's clear that you're talking about the nation of Israel, because this is an A-B conversation between two members of Israel, number one. Okay? You got anything to add to that, Ak? Because I'm about to move on.
Oh, I got a precept just to back you up.
Go on.
John 17:9. Well, I pray for them. I pray not for the world.
Right.
Oh yeah, just go add to what you were saying, man. This, I'm saying, this further not generalized, but this further specifies the word world. A lot of times when the Most High said world, he was speaking about Israel, man. In this particular instance, he's talking about is the actual elect of Israel, so that even breaks it down even more,
Yeah, that actual them, he says, I pray for them. That's talking about the elect. And then when he said, I pray not for the world, he's talking about the world of Israelites. He's talking about the 2/3 that don't even want to get right. You know what I mean? Even still, when he says, I pray for them, I pray not for the world, he's still not talking about you other heathens. You know what I mean? Right. The other nations, especially the so-called white man, you Moabites, you Ammonites, you know, you Hamites, you were never a part of the conversation. All right. So now we're gonna get into this, why he said that, and the source, because the number one thing, besides going into the name, besides going into the Greek world there in 3:16, if the number one question you should be asking somebody that comes up with John 3:16, for God so loves the world, I'll bet you $1 million they don't know what John 14 and 15 says. All right, so we're gonna go from there. Can you read John 3 and 14?
3 and 14. In John 3 and 14, and as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
Right. So this is
eternal life.
So this is a key. So this is a key part to John 3 and 16, because it says here, as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness. All right. So that's a very key factor. What they're referring to right there when it says Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, this actually goes back to Numbers. Okay. And I got it here. The key point is in Numbers, the 21st chapter, but in the 9th verse. But we're gonna ease into that a little slowly. All right. I'm gonna start at the top of 21, but first I'm gonna give a little bit of background. Okay. In Numbers 20th chapter, this is where the children of Israel, they were bucking up against Moses, Aaron, and Yahweh, our power. They were hungry. They were tired of the manna. They were getting thirsty, and they were running out of water. And that's when the Lord came down and told Moses to smite the rock, and then that's when the water would come out of the rock, and show the people of Israel that I am the Lord. But that's when Moses hit the rock, and he said, "Here now, ye rebels, must we fetch you water out of the rock?" Pretty much making it seem like it was Moses and Aaron that gave them the water, and not Yahweh our power. So Yahweh got mad. He told them that Moses and Aaron, you're not going to see the land of you're not going to bring the children of Israel into the land across the Jordan, into the land of Israel. So from there, they were traveling, they were trying to make it in through Edom into the King's Highway. I'm not going to bring it up. If you had, it's probably best if you get yourself a Zondervan's Bible dictionary, and then you look into map number 2 towards the back. But there was a city here. It was called Salakia. It was called Panan in Edom. That's when the children of Israel was trying to pass into Edom and get on that King's Highway, just so they can just go straight up through Edom and Moab, and so they can get into the kingdom of Sihon, which was the Amorites' land, which the Lord said that they was going to take over. But Edom said, "Nah, fuck y'all." This is in Numbers, the 20th chapter. So Edom said, "Nah, fuck y'all. You come through here, we're going to kill you." So what Israel ended up doing was, falling back a little bit. It was Aaron's turn to die, to pass away. So, they went to the mountain of Hor. He stripped, Moses was commanded to strip the garments off of Aaron and give it to his son, Eleazar, and move on from there. So what they had to do, since Edom didn't grant them any passage, they had to go south towards the Red Sea, as it says here. I'll get to that, but they had to go south and go around Edom. Okay, so this is where we are in Numbers in the 21st chapter. Okay, after Aaron died, and it says, "And when the king Arad the Canaanite, which dwelt in the south, heard tell that Israel came by the way of spies, then he fought against Israel and took some of them prisoners. And Israel vowed a vow unto the Lord and said, if thou wilt indeed deliver his people unto my hand, then I will utterly destroy their cities. And the Lord hearkened unto the voice of Israel and delivered up the Canaanites, and they utterly destroyed them in their cities. And he called the name of the place Hormah. And and you can see that in the bottom, in the south left part of the Dead Sea. If you find yourself a good map, especially in the Zondervan Bible Compact Dictionary, you'll see it. So they smote all the Canaanites there, and they started to head south, right? So reading on in verse 4, and they journeyed. Go ahead.
In the land of Simeon.
In the land of Simeon, to the bottom part, where Simeon and Judah dwelt. It was the Kenites down there that was beefing with them. That's right. All right. You got anything more to say?
Well, yeah, that would have been so brothers could get a better understanding. That would have been the land of Simeon. At that point, Simeon didn't get their heritage, right? Simeon didn't get at that point because it was only Gad, Manasseh, and Gad, Reuben, and half tribe of Manasseh.
Well,
so, just
my bad.
That's so brothers better get a better understanding. That was like what Simeon is.
Yeah, that's where Simeon was. If you look at a map where in modern day, not modern day, in where ancient Israel, where Simeon dwelt, Khan Tawarak. So chapter 21 verse 4, and they journeyed from Mount Hor by the way of the Red Sea, which the Red Sea is to the south. So it says here to compass the land of Edom, and the soul of the people were much discouraged because of the way. Why? Because Edom turned them away from the king's highway. So what they had to do is they had to go south all the way down around Edom and make it around towards the east side of Edom and the east side of Moab, which was a long ass walk. So that's why they was discouraged, because of the way, right? So verse 5, and the people spake against the Most High and against Moses, wherefore have ye brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no bread, neither there is any water, and our soul loatheth this light bread. Talking about the manna, right? Verse 6, and Yahweh sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and much people of Israel died. Therefore the people came to Moses and said, we have sinned, for we have spoken against Yahweh and against thee. Pray unto Yahweh that he take away the serpents from us. And Moses prayed for the people, right? This is important, okay? Verse 8, and Yahweh said unto Moses, make thee a fiery serpent and set it upon a pole, and it shall come to pass that every one that is bitten, when he looketh upon it, shall live. Verse 9, and Moses made a serpent of brass and put it upon a pole, and it came to pass that if a certain had bitten any man, when he had beheld the serpent of brass, he lived. So this ties in direct. So this is the history of John 3:14-15. The reason, as it says here, and as Moses lifted up the serpent in the wilderness, even so must the Son of Man be lifted up. So what happened in the wilderness? The children of Israel went off. They were murmuring against the Lord. They were murmuring against Moses. Because they had a long, tough road, and the Lord smit them with serpents. So they prayed unto the Lord. The Lord raised up a way out, and which was a way of the fiery serpent, and it healed the people. How much more so, Salakia? Even so must the Son of Man be lifted up. So that's what Yahweh Shai is to the children of Israel today. A cure for our poison of the serpent that bit us, that beguiled us, that poisoned us. You know what I mean? So this is talking about the children of Israel. That's the story of why Yahweh Shai said that. You know what I mean? It has nothing to do with the other nations, you know, and that's the facts, you know? So that's why we're saying we're coming in here and we're making this video, because it's really irresponsible for somebody, you know, especially a Jake, you know, to come up and just say, oh, John 3:16, for God so loved the world. That means everybody. You know what I mean? You're going to be put to death for that shit. You know what I'm saying? You got something, Mark?
Yeah, I got something. This is Amos 3:1. You know, going to the you know, wilderness. And you know, just that story alone, like you was breaking it down, just that story alone goes to show you that if the Lord, you know, if the Lord was dealing with everybody, how come, you know what I'm saying? How come if the Lord was dealing with everybody, how come at that time we weren't just, you know, we should have been free to just go through Edom, you know, because it was a separation, and it's always been a separation, you know.
That's right.
But this, and then, you know, a lot of times in the story, you know, a lot of times in the scriptures, well, we always was fighting against the Canaanites, you know, as we reading today, how the Most High gave us the land of Jericho, which is another tribe of the Hamites, you know. So we were always fighting against these other nations. So if the Lord love everybody, how come He allow us to travail over them, man?
That's right.
You know. But this is Amos 3:1. Hear this word that the Lord had spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known out of all the families of the earth. All right, and that's the point, man. You only have I known, man. So this is a book between a man and his wife, man. The Most High, you know what I'm saying, being that man, all right, and his wife, you know, which is Israel. That was it.
Khan, no, that's right. It says, you know, you only have I known, you know. What is it? I got a precept right here. Let me just see if I can grab it really quickly. Oldie but goodie. This is Psalms 147:19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. Because, you know, like we was going into Numbers and all that stuff, you know, Israel are the only people that can sin, man. You know, because we were the ones that were given the law, statutes, and commandments. You know what I mean? Moab wasn't up on Mount Sinai, you know, Sinai. Edom wasn't up on Mount Sinai. The Ammonites and the Canaanites weren't up on Mount Sinai. It was all the Israelites. All right, just like the whole symbology, you know, the whole symbolism, Salakia, the symbolism behind the fiery serpent compared to Yahweh Shai, it was a story all, you know, because Israel went off. You know, it has nothing to do with you other people. So it says he showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He hath not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye Yahweh. All right. So that's plain and simple, man. You know, you people, you know, and your argument is getting weak, man. You know what I mean? This truth is showing. This truth is getting out there, man. All right, you ain't fooling anybody anymore. The only people that are actually willing to go out there and actually say that the Lord loves everybody, and you know, color doesn't matter, and whatever else y'all are saying out there, clearly all are paid off, man. You know what I mean? Because I'll tell you one thing: in our camp where we're at, you know. We ain't never seen anybody out there with a blowhorn out there talking about John 3:16 before, man. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know these devils are scared. You know what I'm saying? They see where we're at. You know, they're clearly spying on us. They're clearly keeping an eye out on us, and they're trying to send out opposition and send out people to go out there and disrupt the word, and you know, and throw something out there contrary. But that shit is weak, man, because you can't overpower the scriptures, man. You know what I mean? These scriptures that we break out, you know what I mean? You can't refute it. It's irrefutable evidence.
Yep. Hey, Gamaliel, remember when they were trying to throw Apostle Peter and the other apostles in prison, then the angels broke them out in Acts the 5th chapter. Gamaliel stood up. You know, they was trying to you know, persecute the apostles. Gamaliel stood up, like, look, man, everybody else, I'm gonna just get it, you know. Apostle say, just get it.
Yeah. Why quote it when you can read it? That's right, Doc.
This is Acts 5. 5 and 34. Then stood there up one in the council, a Pharisee named Gamaliel, a doctor of the law, having reputation among all the people. And you know, it's just a side note going to show you how all the Pharisees and Sadducees wasn't wicked. Because you did have wicked Pharisees and Sadducees, but this goes to show you that all of them wasn't wicked. Because Gamaliel, if he was wicked, he would have just, sat down and allowed the apostles to be persecuted wrongly. Right? It said a Pharisee named Gamaliel, a doctor of the law, had a reputation among all the people, and commanded to put the apostles forth a little space, and said unto them, Ye men of Israel, take heed to yourselves what ye intend to do as touching these men. For before these days rose up Judas, boasting himself to be somebody, to whom a number of men, about 400, joined themselves, who were slain. Then all as many as obeyed him were scattered and brought to naught. After this man rose up Judas of Galilee in the days of the taxing, and drew away much people after him. He also perished, and all, even as many as obeyed him, were dispersed. And now I say unto you, refrain from these men, and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught. Now what happened on Saturday? Them dudes out there maybe 5-7 minutes, man, screaming one precept, not knowing anything, man. All right, so you see that was a man, like you said, it was probably set up by whomever, man, but that came to naught. But we were still out there, 3-4 hours later, man. But if it be of God, ye cannot overthrow it. Thus happily ye be found even a fight against God.
Yeah, and that's why you see it. You mentioned they were out there for 5 and 10 minutes. My question was where was they at? Where was they at the last week or the week before when it was pouring rain? We was out there teaching the word. Where the fuck were you? Where were you at? Where were you at this winter when it was 10 degrees outside? We ain't see you out there. We was out there teaching the word. You know what I mean? That's how we know y'all fools ain't about nothing, man. Scoffers, it got a little warm last week. You got people talking shit. Where were y'all at the winter time? Oh, we ain't see you out there. And it's cool that you mentioned that the Pharisees weren't all Pharisees weren't wicked, because look at Nicodemus on 3 and 1. It says there was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus. He was a little simple when when he was talking with Yahweh Shai. Some things went over his head, but he wasn't wicked. You know what I mean? I got a quick precept. And then you got it. This is Isaiah 45 and 17. But Israel shall be saved in Yahweh with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. And that's the world of the Israelites. And it says that we'll never be confounded, man, because the Lord brought us back into these scriptures. You know what I'm saying? The truth is out. All right. You can't confound us with your folly, man. Talking about John 3:16, for God so loved the world, man. Like we can break that, and we don't even have to go into the Greek to break it. You know what I mean? We can crush your argument from a 1,000 different angles, man.
And just to prove my point, what I was saying in the beginning, how Israel, we're like the woman of the Most High, man. The woman to the Most High. This is Jeremiah 6 and 2. I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman. You watch, how Jake be trying to sweet talk their women. If they do some bullshit, they call a woman what? They world. So that's what the Most High, the ultimate Jake, he calls us his world.
That's right.
Without end.
God, not. You got something else? I got a precept.
Nah. Nah, I don't have anything else.
All right, cool. Cause we're not saying that it's just gonna be all Israelites. Other nations are gonna make it into the kingdom. But what's your role going to be in that kingdom? All right, you're gonna be underneath the Israelites. Okay, It's the Israelites that are going to get all the glory. You know what I mean? We're going to be put on high. You're going to be put beneath us. But you know, it ain't going to be all that bad. You know, for you other nations, aside from Edom, you know, Edom, y'all gonna get completely fucked up. All right, you know, there's no other way to put it. But the other nations, you know, you guys are gonna have it. You know, after we have our fun with you, you know, you're good. It's gonna be a better rulership than how Esau is running this place right now. I'll tell you that. You know what I mean? We're gonna rule the world in righteousness. All right. So this is Israel Salakia. This is Isaiah 14:1. For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel, because you know that's what this is all about. All right, this whole Bible is all about Israel. No matter, you can't, you know, it's funny. You could have 300 scriptures saying Israel, 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 but here it is, you heathens and you other nations are looking for that one scripture to ease your way in there and then negate everything else that the entire Bible got to say, man. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make any damn sense.
Right. And AI real quick, and he says, and yet he will yet choose Israel. So like you said, even you know, if you might have said something that made a, you know, you might have thought, you know, well, maybe other nations. That's, you know, that brings you back to light. Okay, yet choose Israel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You say this, that, and the third. Okay, I'm gonna do this. You know, I'm gonna yet do this. You know, that goes to show you basically almost like a conclusion. You know,
and a lot of times when he's talking about other nations, and it's something that sounds good, like that's going to be good in their favor, it's more than likely talking about the Israelites that were scattered abroad among those nations. You know what I'm saying? Right. I got an example. Hold on. Perfect example right here. This is Ezekiel chapter 20 verse 41. I will accept you with your sweet savor when I bring you out from the people and gather you out of the countries wherein ye have been scattered, and I will be sanctified in you before the heathen. You know what I mean? So when they talk about other nations, when the Lord talks about other nations in a good light, odds are they're talking about the children of Israel, all right? Because we were scattered abroad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got a precept to back you up real quick, Doc.
Done.
He said, well, I accept you and your good savior. You know, basically mean now what, you know, Israel is basically, you know, Israel prayers and stuff. That's a sweet savior until Yahweh Hashem Yahushua the elect. You know? This is Isaiah 40:15. Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket of dust of the balance. Behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing, and Lebanon is not sufficient to burn, nor the beasts thereof sufficient for a burnt offering. All nations before him are as nothing. All right, but that goes to show you that these other nations are not acceptable. You know, they don't have a sweet savior into the Most High, man. Only Israel.
You know? Right. It's beautiful, yeah, beautiful precept. If we don't have anything else, man, I'll probably just close out on this because I love this damn chapter right here, Isaiah 14.
You got it.
Yeah, Isaiah 14:1. For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Because, you know, and them strangers are talking about you other heathen nations. You know what I mean? You're going to cleave into the house of Jacob. Because people say that, you know, we have the law, statutes, and commandments, and we're gonna and we were meant to spread it among the other nations. And in a way, that's true. That's right. We're going to be spreading them out to those nations, you know, showing the other nations. Hey, can you get me Deuteronomy 4:6 real quick, Baba Kushai? Because you know, we're going to be showing you other nations how to live and how to do it and how to do things the right way. And you know, and you're going to love us for it because it's the right. You know, following the law, statutes, and commandments is the righteous thing to do. You know what I mean? It's the law, statutes, and commandments is conducive to living, to life, to prosperity. All right. That's why you other nations are going to cleave onto it. Can you read that for me, Ak?
This is Deuteronomy 4:6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding. No, actually,
right. Real quick, it says this is your wisdom and your understanding. Whose wisdom? The children of Israel, you Israelites, you black, you know, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. You know, this is your wisdom. But go ahead.
It says, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
Oh, Salaki, start there again from the top, Papa Kushai.
It says, I can start from 5. It says, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye shall do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Mm-hmm. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
In the sight of the nations, Khan, right? Go ahead.
Which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
Right, because these laws, statutes, and commandments are righteous, and that's why these these strangers shall be joined and cleave unto you, because we're going to be those dudes. You know, we're going to know what to do. We're gonna have that wisdom and understanding that people are going to look at and be like, man, you know, these guys know what's going on. All right. So so back in Isaiah, you know, it says, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave unto the house of Jacob, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. All right, you know, but don't get too upset, you know, you other heathen nations. You know what I mean? We're gonna rule over you in righteousness. We're not gonna rule over you like this devil is, the so-called white man. You know, who's Edom, who's Esau, the so-called white man. You know, the red man. You know, we're going to rule over you in righteousness, in righteousness under the law, statutes, and commandments. All right, but we're not going to be ruling side by side like how these other, you know, grape juice drinking, you know, pastors are saying. You're going to be underneath us. All right, we're going to be your rulers. All right, you know. So that's it on that.
Yeah, so you know, basically, you know, still the point with John 3:16. The Lord only died for Israel, man, not these other nations. You know, the Lord said that we were holy, man, which means we were separate from these other nations. You know, so that hope brothers edified. Yahweh, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shabbarakatham. Shalom to the elect.
Shalom.